Welcome to the Ton of Tone Podcast. Ton of Tone Podcast, where we sit and talk with local artists about guitars, gear, and everything music. Turn up your volume and enjoy the show.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the first Ton of Tone podcast, brought to you by yours truly, Jake Guitar Tech. And today we have Mr. Steven GB, the one and only. Shout out to Steve.
Please, no applause, no applause.
All right, so we're just going to jump right into it here. I've actually, just to give you a little overview of who Steve is, I've been jamming with this guy for, how long, Steve? A long time.
Hey, it's like 10 years at least now, right?
Minimum.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I had been seeing Steve since I was a little kid. So he was playing in bands, a band called Sistine, and flashbacks from a long time ago, which I play in now. But watching him was pretty wild, and to be able to play with him now is pretty cool. And yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Steve. How'd you get started in music, and who inspired you?
Well, music's just always been, I was always a performer. When I was a kid, I used to dance like Michael Jackson and like, you know, like my cousin aunts and shit. Would make me like, dance, mijo, and be on the table, you know?
That's sick. Heck
so I've always been a performer. That's been in me. I'm an only child. I think that's what that is, you know?
Yeah.
But I would say who inspired me was in sixth grade, you had a choice. You had to be in choir or you had to be in band. And my neighbor, Hector, he was like, be in bandful, you know?
Oh, all right.
So
cool.
because I didn't play an instrument or anything like that, so I joined the band, and the instrument they had available was trumpet. So basically that's where I kind of, from that point on is where I kind of fell in love with it, you know?
Okay, dude, that's super sick. Shout out to those elementary school music teachers too.
Yes.
Some wild ones out there.
Right, and then that's where I met Mr. Bynum. Mr. Bynum was a big influence too, man. He was
Heck yeah. That's rad. And did he put you onto different kinds of music, or did you kind of just venture off on your own and just kind of explore?
I think when I started like getting deeper, like I went to tuba. So it was like, hey, listen to we were playing like a jazz song, and goes like, you sound like a tuba. He goes, you should sound like a stand-up bass. So this is when I really started. He's like, listen to like jazz music or anything with the stand-up. So that's when I really started like dissecting.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't know. I think everyone as a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd put headphones on, bro, and just like listen like to the guitar on this side and how the bass sounded on, you know, middle, and I just would really dissect that. I wish I do it more. But as a kid, you know, that was my high, right?
Nice. That's awesome, dude. And who would you say was like your one of your main inspirations as far as like because you said you played tuba, but I know you primarily play bass now. I know you play guitar as well, but I know you know, a lot of people have that one person in their life that they were just always inspired by, some unique technique that they were doing or something. Who was that person for you growing up?
Well, it was phases.
Okay.
So I was really into Nirvana. So what was I'm gonna say his name wrong. Chris Novoselic.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So first those bass lines on the Nevermind, you know, album were sick. I also grew up in a Mexican family, you know, so we listened to like the guy from Los Tigres del Norte.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Okay. Cool.
Like the dum, you know, all that. I grew up with that. I kind of started loving bass with that, and then of course, you know, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it just kept going. Like, you know, you're like, man, Flea's the best bass player ever, and then you find like Marcus Miller or Victor Wooten, and you're like, oh yeah, these guys are like insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, it's always changing. I have a lot of influences.
Nice.
Yeah.
And was there a particular style that kind of crafted you into the kind of music that you make now, like with your original music and stuff like that?
I think it started punk rock or like skater. You know, like
cool.
I was into Blink and like Pennywise and all that.
Nice.
And like I said, Nirvana. It rock you know, I guess rock is the base,
Yeah.
the basis of
The
it.
foundation. There.
Probably. You know
Okay.
what? I don't really know. It's just I love music so much. Even like Bob Marley or the Police, like reggae stuff. I really
Yeah.
like that stuff, and you could hear it in Sistine. I was kind of, and it was funny. I'll never forget. Someone's like, "You like Sublime,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Who?" You know, when I was a kid.
Oh shoot!
You
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
and because I listened to Bob Marley and to the Police,
Okay.
like those reggae artists, you know.
Nice.
Not if the Police are kind of reggae,
Mhm.
but then I listened to Sublime. Like, oh yeah, that song.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is sick. So it's like I always felt like I was always one step behind. Like,
Okay.
you know, everyone always says like, hey, you sound like this guy. You're trying to be this guy, and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it happens a lot, bro.
Yeah,
and then I
heck yeah.
listen to him and I'm like, oh yeah, that dude's sick.
Yeah. You're just going with the groove. Of things,
Yeah,
man. I
pretty
feel that.
much. Yeah.
For sure, man. So, so starting from like elementary school, you started playing music, and then moving as you got older, you started playing bass. How was your first performance playing bass? How was that? What was that experience like?
So I was in high school, it was my freshman year in high school, and there was a jazz band, or no, we were called the Swing Kings. It was when remember when the swing was really in, like
Yeah.
The Mask came out.
Okay.
What was that other movie? There's a bunch of movies like the swing era was hitting, like Zoo Riot.
Yeah.
Right. So we
Okay.
did for the talent show. We did Zoo Riot and another song by we did some swing songs. So that was my first time ever playing in front of an audience playing bass.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and all I remember was I was nervous. I was looking down, and my fingers hurt trying to boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, and you know, and I had a solo. There was a part of the song that was just bass and drums, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, my family and friends were there. And they were screaming, and I remember I went home with like this adrenaline. Like I looked up and I saw everyone just clapping.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep that night. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went.
Kinda lingered on.
Oh, dude, I was like, it's a high that I always chase.
Mhm.
And, yeah, and it's just I don't know. You can't explain it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, big time. I think over the years I can really relate to that too. Like just playing different venues, and it didn't even have to ever be a big venue, but it was just the excitement of being like, oh wow, like these songs that I practiced, now I could do them live and really see if I can, do them at the show, even if there's 2 people, 3 people. But it's just that anticipation, and then the after of like, oh, I did it. It was like a big relief. But that's freaking awesome, man. And so as you started getting older, did you start playing bigger venues, or how was that like?
Yeah. Well, when I was like 15 or 16, I had an uncle who was playing in a burrito circuit band. You know what that is?
Never heard of that actually.
Yeah. So burrito circuit's like Malo, Santana.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, it's that kind of bands.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Okay, yeah,
I always think,
definitely.
have you ever seen Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a part in the movie where he goes, yeah, what kind of music you play, man? He's like, oh, everything, from Santana to Malo, everything. Yeah, so it was like
Okay.
these kind of bands.
Yeah.
So anyways, my uncle couldn't play a show, and they knew I played bass, and they're like, well, we need someone to fill in for this. So I practiced these Santana songs,
Okay.
for this one show. And you could relate, like that. When Santana come out, 70s. So
Yeah.
as a kid, I really didn't even know. Like even if you hear the songs on the radio, I was like, oh, that's Santana, like
Yeah.
So I had to learn all these songs, and from that, I started playing. Like they just started hiring me,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've probably played every backyard and every venue
yeah.
in Southern California
Yeah.
you could think of, I mean, everything shy of, I never played,
Yeah.
the SoFi or whatever, but yeah, the smaller venues, I've
Yeah.
done them pretty much,
Heck
all
yeah.
of them. Yeah.
And for those of you guys that don't know, when Steve says he's actually played all these venues, I've heard a lot of musicians say this. He's probably the number one guy that I've seen do studio work, do just various random shows, like stuff you wouldn't even think of. Like he'll be playing, and like sometimes because Flashbacks have practice, and he's like, oh well, yeah, I played this random thing. Like they just hit me up, so I went to the show, and we're like, what? Like, where was that at? He's like, oh, a little bit up north, kind of. And it's all weird, but it's like he really has done so many things and he knows so many people. So it's so cool to, hear that kind of stuff now as like, him growing up and stuff like that. So, Steve, during this time, I want to know what kind of gear you were using. And I know that gear has kind of fluctuated over the years from, like the really basic, basses to a little bit more higher end and stuff like that. So tell me about your experience there with gear.
First bass I ever owned was it was called a Sebring. I've never seen it again.
Okay.
Sebring.
All right.
It was like a precision bass, which I ended up letting someone borrow, and they ended up pawning it or losing it.
Yeah.
So I never saw a bass again. But it was can we cuss?
Yeah.
It was a piece of shit. You know? And I didn't realize that, like when you first start playing, you're like, oh, I suck.
Mm.
And finally, when I put a Fender in my hands, I was like, oh, wait, I don't suck. Because the instrument I had was just like, the action was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, why does my hands hurt so much? So, so from there, I got like a Mexican Fender, a Jazz.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, I'm a spoiled little brat. So, I had my uncle, my mom, and my grandfather put money together. And basically the rig I have now, the Gallien-Kruger 800 RB was my first actual.
Oh, wow.
Head.
Yeah.
Before that, I had like a combo amp, a crate combo amp.
Okay.
That I used for years.
Damn, hey, that's a beast of a head right there, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
Even back then, it was something that was like, whoa. And even now, it's like everybody knows it's almost maybe not industry standard, like maybe because there's so much new gear. But back then, it was.
It was.
I remember people talking about that stuff for sure.
Well, it's funny that we're talking about it. I was looking into it. I was to see like if they're still around.
Yeah.
They're only used.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's like nowadays, dude, they're making little heads,
Yeah.
This one's a big, simple.
Yep.
What is it? It's not a tube amp. It's like
I think it might be a solid state.
it's a solid state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, those things are beast, man. And they're heavy.
It's still
They're
work.
really
Hey, bro,
heavy.
I'm still using it at the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still sounds good.
Yeah. And I think that's something really interesting about nowadays. And I feel like a lot of people briefly touch on this topic, but the kind of gear that was made back then was made to last. And now because there's so many new ideas of gear, it's like things aren't really lasting that long and it sucks, but it's like, that's why so many heads are into like the used gear market and they're into the, progressive, like, how do I say it? Like they kind of just want to toy around with something, get it and then sell it kind of thing. They're into that. But for me, I try to get used gear as much as possible. And then when I buy something new, it's most likely a couple $100 and it sucks, but it's like, it's going to sound great and last. So,
yeah. You know what I do is I'll buy it new at Guitar Center and then I'll try it out. And if I like it, I'll return it and then buy it used somewhere else. Hey,
shout out to Guitar Center.
Shout out to Guitar Center. Yeah, Guitar Center is not doing good, bro.
Yeah.
They don't sell my strings anymore. They don't sell my picks anymore.
Oh, shit. What gauge strings do you use?
What are the? I've experimented, but I think they're like 45 to 105 or something like that. I don't
Okay,
even know.
but it's which one you use, like the elixirs, huh?
I like elixirs right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done them all though, bro. I've done Ernie Ball to DR and all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's new science behind strings nowadays, and a lot of guys are like they're sticking to the Ernie Balls, and I've been an Ernie Ball guy since I was a little kid. Honestly, since I started, and I recently moved to D'Addario, their XS series, which is freaking phenomenal, man. That feel is great.
That's what I've been using on the guitars too.
Yeah. They last a long time, which is super cool. But Elixir has unparalleled like longevity with it. Like, man, their strings last forever. I use their stuff for acoustic guitars. And I still have guys rocking with them, and it's been a couple months, and they're like, dude, it still sounds just as resonant and stuff like that, which is cool.
For me, the problem with Ernie Ball is they sound great. You put them on, sound great.
Yep.
Next day, they sound dull.
Yeah. It's crazy because like you got to pretty much pay what is it, like double the price to get like the premium Ernie
Yeah.
balls, you know? But that kind of stuff, I mean, it also kind of depends on what kind of player you are. Some guys don't play that crazy.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, we're playing every other weekend and we're sweating like crazy because we play such a straightforward set. And it's like sweat's going on the strings, and you know, I've cut
Yeah.
my finger before and there's blood, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh shoot. But
Well, not only
yeah.
that, I practice every day.
practice as well. Yeah.
So some people are like, hey, these strings lasted me a year,
Yeah.
right? But if you're playing every day for multiple hours a day,
Yeah.
those strings won't last you too long, bro.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much you play.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then I guess
Yeah.
how dirty you are.
And actually, that brings up the topic of venues and stuff like that. But tell everyone about your experience working on carnivals, cruise ships, and like how your practice regimen was there, and your experience overall from the beginning to like the end.
Yeah. I went on a cruise and I like kind of got that idea stuck in my head because
Okay.
I was like, damn, that'd be dope if I could live on a cruise ship and play music, you know?
Yeah.
So oddly enough, I auditioned as a bass player,
Oh wow.
right?
Okay.
And then and they were like, you're good, but we kind of don't need a bass player right now. So
Alright.
we're gonna put you on the list. And when we do need a bass player, we'll call you, right?
Okay.
So I was just so hungry that I was just like, well, what are you looking for, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, well, right now we're looking for an acoustic soloist, you know?
Okay.
So I was like, I could play acoustic. So I played them a couple of songs on the acoustic, and they're like, cool, you got the gig. And
There it is.
and at the time, bro, I was just known as a bass player and known as and maybe some background vocals, but I didn't really sing. So when I told my family, like, I'm gonna live on a cruise ship for 6 months and sing and play guitar, they were like, can you even play the guitar? Can you even sing?
Shoot. Damn.
Because everyone just like I was a bass player my whole, you know, I grew
Yeah.
up with, the only time I play guitar is like I was at your house or something
Yeah.
or whatever, and let me use your guitar. I didn't even own a guitar.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So,
Damn.
that's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I had to sell gear to buy the guitar. The first guitar used on a cruise ship was a borrowed guitar,
Oh wow.
and I ended up
Okay.
buying it from that guy.
Yeah.
So it ended up being my guitar. But yeah, that's how I went that first time was on borrowed shit. It was crazy.
That is wild, man. And when you were on the ship, so kind of fast forward like 1-2 years into working on the cruises and stuff, how was that? Like, how long were you playing for, and what were you doing on your downtime? Because I know it was kind of like in spurts, so it was like weeks at a time. So you would kind of port in Long Beach sometimes, and then
Well-
kind of go different places around the world.
Well, the way they do it is it's a 6-month contract,
Okay.
right? So you basically live on the ship, and so like let's say if it's out of Long Beach,
Mhm.
it parks in Long Beach, and I could get off for a few hours,
Oh wow.
but I have to
Okay.
be back on the ship by 3-5 o'clock, and then it takes off weekly. You know, what was the question?
So how was like your daily life
yeah.
there?
Okay, so yeah, I played. So it was between 4 to 5 hours a day. They cut
playing
that-
time?
Yes, but they
Oh,
cut
wow.
that down to 4 because a lot of people were losing their voices,
Okay.
right? Especially like me, like an acoustic soloist or like a piano bar, because they're playing and singing the whole night.
Yeah.
In the band, it was 2 singers, so it'd be a guy singer and a girl singer. So they would cut the songs in half.
They could kind of trade off on the
Yeah,
things.
right.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was 4 hours a day. Every ship was different. So it all depended on the musical director, but for the most part, it was you're in a lounge that they scheduled you that day, and it was like, and I would play the 4 hours, right? Sometimes it'd be like 2 hours here, and then
Yeah.
you go down by the pool, and then 2 hours there.
Yeah.
And I only had 1 day off, so yeah, so that means I was playing 6 days out of the week.
Mhm.
And then, for 4 hours of
Yeah.
music, which was insane for my first contract. Cause like I said, I was just making, people were asking me for like Margaritaville,
Yeah.
and I've never heard Margaritaville in my life.
Damn, popular song.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
then
kinda
like,
wild. It's
how
so
did you
popular.
get this job? right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know. So that was my routine. Was I would play the gig, you
Yeah.
know, and then people would be asking me for songs like, you know, like that, like Margaritaville, and I'm
Yeah.
like, shit. So I would look it up. And then,
Okay.
okay, I've never heard this song before. Listen to it, write down the lyrics, and try to learn it for the next day.
Okay.
So that was my routine. Was I would try to learn songs throughout the day, and then when my 4 hours would come, then I would bust them out and try them.
Damn.
You know?
So on top of the 4 hours you were playing, how many hours were you practicing? Because I mean, there's people from all around the world. They probably have like their favorite songs. I'm sure there was common ones. So were you like practicing like maybe 2 hours?
We're in a band together, bro.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
how you know I'm out of control.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So
yeah.
So you have to remember that I was an employee on the ship. So for example, I can't go to the bar. I can't go to the casino.
Okay.
I need I need a reason to be walking around. Even to be walking around in a public area, I had to be wearing like a uniform. I had to be dressed nice.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's like, I'm not even gonna go out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a lot of like, what are you gonna do? You can't get in the pool, right? So basically, hey, dude,
Yeah.
stop this. Sorry.
Actually, let me make sure mine's.
I'm just gonna
we're
turn
good.
it off. Right? Okay.
Oh, take the little screenshot.
Yeah, take a look. There, it's off. Sorry.
The OnlyFans content coming soon.
I apologize. Hey. All right. What was I saying? Yeah. Yeah. So you can't really do anything on the ship. It was only like you go up there and eat and pretty much come right back. You know?
Okay.
So I was just in my room or in crew areas most of the time.
Yeah.
So I would say I would practice pretty much. I'd watch some TV, practice, you know, go outside, smoke a cigarette,
Yeah.
grab something to eat, come back, watch TV, practice. I was just like in practicing,
Yeah.
and then listening like to the headphones, walking around the ship, getting to know the ship,
Yeah.
listening to the songs. I would say I was practicing all day in a way. You get what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and because especially that first year, there was a lot of pressure because I didn't know that many songs,
Okay.
and people were asking for songs I'd never heard of or songs that I didn't even think could like Hotel California.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of chord changes in that song.
Yeah.
Right. So just learning the chords and learning how to sing and play it at the same time was a challenge. On top of that, there's an epic guitar solo.
Yep.
So I'm like listening, like it was just like constantly me trying to learn these songs that people kept asking for.
Yeah.
Or me thinking this song would go well or
Yeah.
whatever. You know, I was always
Okay.
thinking of that while I was on the ship because there's nothing else to think about.
Yeah.
You know?
And at that time, you were using pedals, right? Like you were using,
Well,
like, I mean, kind of like a little bit more deeper into playing for the cruises. You started bringing out the looper. So you kind of had some drums kind of going on in the background. And then, you know, doing the bass with the guitar with the octave lower. So you could do like some cool stuff.
Well, that came eventually because
Okay.
what I was discovering was when I was playing, by the 4 hours, my hand was killing me. Just
Oh,
holding
wow.
the chords
Yeah.
and singing, my voice is killing me, my hands are killing me. But when I discovered that when I would loop it, you know, I could like record the chords and then kind of relax and sing.
Yeah.
And the chords are just going,
Yeah.
you know?
That's cool.
Right. So that's why I started using the looper. On top of that, I was never a soloist. I didn't
Yeah.
start as a guitar singer.
Yeah.
So in my mind, when I'm playing acoustic, I hear the drums, I hear the bass,
Yeah.
and it pisses me off that it's not there. So
okay.
that's when I started messing with putting beats or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, like I did the beatboxing thing as a joke. And
Yeah.
then like the bartender was like, "Hey bro, that actually kind of sounded good." And I was like, "Really?"
Oh.
So then
that's how it started.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you guys haven't ever seen Steve live, he plays locally and he'll play at your party as well. But he has the craziest setup ever. I mean, talk about talent when you talk about like just being able to do all the different parts, and when you could tell that he's practiced like a ridiculous amount of hours, because even during our practices, I'm like, he's bored in the corner and I'm just like, dude, how do you know all these songs? And it's freaking phenomenal. So if you haven't seen him, definitely check him out. So moving past the Carnival cruise ship life, let's talk about venues that you've played. And what's your favorite venue and your least favorite venue? Because there are so many venues out there. There's a ridiculous amount. So what would you choose?
Okay, well,
I mean, and even down to like the fact of like during sound check, you love just how it sounds because you can hear your bass clear, whatever venue that is. Let's know.
okay. Well, I guess I would have to say House of Blues has probably been one of the best sounding.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've played at the Anaheim one, I've played at the Hollywood one, and every time they're with the sound on stage
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters to us, right? We don't know what
Yeah.
it sounds like up there.
Big
And
time.
then that's probably, I don't know. We've played some pretty big venues, but that's probably one of the, I can't even remember right now, bro.
Yeah.
But worst of
We played some pretty freaking bad venues, man.
and I mean, so houses don't count?
No, houses sound. Yeah, they count. They count.
I've played some crazy places, bro. But
Okay.
I don't know. Worse?
Yeah, like
just
least favorite
some crappy bar.
Maybe it was like the smell in there, or the sound was horrible, or
It's never the venue. It's what happens at the. It's just a shitty place. Like
Okay.
the waitresses like never
Yeah.
bring your drink.
yeah,
You know,
all mad.
yeah, all mad.
Shout out to all the waitresses out there.
It's
Yeah.
you know me, bro. I've played
Yeah.
in street corners.
Yeah,
so it's
no, literally, he has,
literally
yeah.
I'll play anywhere. I've played on mountaintops and
Yeah.
like I've carried, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just it's never the there's this crappy bar I played over here by Jolly Jug.
Okay, cool.
So it's right next to Jolly Jug. It's like a fichetta bar, you know?
Oh,
It's just-
okay.
It's no decorations.
Yeah.
It's dark in there. All they serve is fucking tecate, you know?
Damn.
I
Hey,
played
major
there.
Throwback 70s right there.
Yeah.
dude.
And then the sound was terrible. We brought our own PA, you know? I'm gonna say that one.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember the name
There
of
it
it
is.
though.
Yeah. And let me see. So what's the most trouble you've gotten in at a venue before? So we've played our fair share of shows, but I think we've definitely had some encounters with some people before. People getting a little too drunk and stuff, and people feeling like extra entitled on having us, shout their birthday out and stuff. So let me know what's the most trouble you've gotten at a show, and like how you reacted in a situation. And maybe trouble's not the right word, but what's the most like wild thing that's happened?
All right. The one that just cut through everything was we were playing somewhere in LA. I can't remember the name of the bar. But we had some friends there, and one of them they were a lesbian couple. So,
Okay.
and there was a how would I say this? There was a butchy one, and then there was one that was really pretty,
Yeah.
that like dressed like, sexy and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were like by the taco place right outside the venue, and she started getting hit on by this dude. So
Oh,
the other
shit.
girl got really upset and like spit in this dude's face. Like they got in an argument of some
Yeah.
sort and was like, "Get off my bitch,"
Yeah.
And at one point she pushed him and spit at him and hit, or swung at him or something. So this fool snapped and they started wailing on her.
Oh,
It
damn.
happened right next to me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like in a split second, they're on the floor and he's on top of her, right, just swinging. And so I was like, and the rest of the band literally at that moment the band was walking out of the bar, right,
Oh,
which was
shit.
right down the block, right.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I obviously got to stop this. I grabbed the dude and I pulled him off, and he stands up. And this fucker was like, and I'm a tall guy, I'm like
Yeah,
6'1", right?
Yeah.
This dude had to be like 6'5" or 7 or some shit, right? I'm like looking up at this dude, and he looks like the dude from, like, he's like Russian.
Yeah.
I feel like Rocky, fool, right? And so
The ultimate face off.
Yes.
Steve GB versus the Russian dude from fucking.
and it was him and a few other dudes.
Yeah.
Like he had homies. Right?
Okay.
So I pulled him off. He's standing here and he has like 2 other homies behind him. The guys are running.
Okay.
Like the band's running to help.
Yeah.
You know, like it's become a rumble.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, boom, everyone, it just all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
This guy's fighting over here. This guy's fighting over here, and I'm squaring off with this tall dude, and he has 2 other guys behind him.
Oh,
And
shit.
I'm like getting my ass kicked today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That moment of just you accept it.
Yeah.
Here it
Getting
is
my
right
ass. He swings, he hits me in the ear. My ear gets big. I'm like, fuck, right? So I was like, fuck. I swing at him. I miss. Right?
Okay.
But when he backs up, I swung and he backed up like this.
Yeah.
He tripped on the sidewalk. And he fell down. He fell back and like boom and cracked him.
Yeah.
He's on the floor now. But from
Okay.
the perspective of the other 2 friends, it looks like I knocked him out in one punch.
Oh shit. So you were, would you say you were the champion there? Yeah, you're the champion.
We are the champions, my friends.
Shout out to winning that fight.
You just wanted to push some buttons, eh?
Maybe. But dude, that is a wild freaking story, man.
Bro, yeah. So from the dudes looked at each other, looked at me, grabbed their friend, and ran.
Oh damn.
You know, and you know, it was funny. A few people got black eyes.
Damn.
Some people got fucked up that night.
Yeah.
You know, we had blood on our shirts. But man, like I guess that's the craziest thing. But that's just a fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as.
Oh,
a
definitely,
gig.
definitely counts. I mean, there's there's stuff that happens before the show even starts always, whether that's like a gear malfunction or you know, someone,
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, just like something like that happens, and then there's the during the show thing, and then the post show because you know, normally like people they always get food after the show, and that leads up to this next question. When we finish shows, normally I like to get food, but what is your favorite choice of food? And I know it's probably gonna be tacos de asada, right? Am I right? Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, okay.
What, like
Yeah.
after show food?
After show food, or do you even like to eat now, or like when you were younger?
Are you kidding me, fool? Fuck you, eh? I definitely like to eat, bro.
Yeah.
I guess the question really is,
Okay.
what don't I like to eat?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because fuck,
Yeah.
like, dude, I'll mess up those asada tacos,
Yeah.
ramen, you name it, son.
Yeah. So one thing about I guess some of the band before Soundcheck, for you guys that don't know, some of us don't eat, and then others of us eat like crazy. And a big shout out to it's a New Wave Bar. Yeah, so me and Steve will usually get some wings there because they have the
Lemon pepper
best-
wings, fool.
Ooh, the best wings right there, man. Shout out to all the staff there for always being so cool with us as well. Yeah, I love their food there, but during the show, I'm just burping on stage. And I'm like, fuck, I fucked up.
Well, you fuck up every time, fool. Yeah,
I
you
know.
obviously don't learn your lesson.
I know. Yeah. I think one time I got a salad and I was like, oh, this isn't it. Like,
Bro.
it's not doing it for me because I just have shitty eating habits. You know,
This is the fuck up. You show up, the first thing you do is order the food.
Well, I can't. The kitchen people aren't there yet, so I'm always like, you know. I usually go to the store and I get a Pedialyte always because I'm just trying to not be so dehydrated after the show. But dude, the freaking food is bomb there. But post show, normally for us, I guess like I usually try to get asada tacos, but I've been on this this thing. There's a taco stand right here down the street where the old Walgreens was at, right here in Almani, and oh man.
Oh yeah, the one where like a fight broke out or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They
So
were on the news, I believe. But dude, such good food there, man.
What do you think of this
Yes.
place that we went to?
That one was bomb too.
Yeah.
And so, for our non-Rasa fans right now, there's different kinds of tacos, and if someone says that they're all the same, they're not. There's people that make them like tacos from Jalisco, and there's from that spot that You got them from how were those? From what part?
I don't know, but they reminded me of Sonora tacos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's different ways that everybody cooks them, and the kind of tortillas that they use. If they're handmade, there's a big difference. So shout out to all the food vendors out there staying open till like 3 a.m. to feed all the musicians, huh?
Well, what pisses me off about that place is they're open at night. So sometimes I fucking craving them during the day, bro. And you know, like, you're nowhere during the day. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, but you know what's crazy though? You ever think about the fact that, okay, we're in California right now. It's tacos.
Yeah.
We're surrounded, like you said, any hour of the night we could find some tacos, right?
Yep.
But if we were in New York, you won't find tacos. But guess what? There's pizza everywhere.
Yeah, pizza.
So yeah.
Hey, that New York pizza is fire.
That 3 a.m. New York pizza,
dude.
it's fire,
man.
bro.
I've been there a couple times, and man, that pizza is so bomb. The next stop is Chicago. Actually, to go visit our boy Sergio.
Shout out to Sergio.
Hey, shout out to him. He's our old keyboard player, lefty guitar player, super sick. But yeah, we got to go there and get some Chicago style pizza, man.
I don't know if you could handle it, dude. Have you ever had a Chicago deep dish?
Hell yeah.
One slice.
One slice, that's it. I'm cool with that, man.
And I'm fucked for the rest of the day. Like, oh no.
Just blowing it up.
Yeah, dude.
You already know. Yeah. All right, Steve. So we're gonna be closing it up here, but I want to know what's next for you. So I know right now you're playing with us, Flashbacks, with an awesome band named Yankee Azteca as well. Super rad guys. So let me know. Are you gonna be coming out with a new album? Are you gonna be recording on your own?
You know, it's funny that you ask, and literally, I guess I'm all over the place. Not only on top. So this is gonna take a while.
Okay, that's cool.
So us, right? So we're booked all the way to the end of the year.
Yes.
We got shows. We got stuff recorded that we haven't released, and we've released like 5 tracks. Yeah. So it's like I would love to. You know, I know it's on our future, right? The Flashbacks gonna be releasing some music. Yankee Azteca just released an album that we recorded on our own, and they're in the middle of. We got some songs, so there's another album or EP coming on the way. Cool. I was in conversation. I've been with conversations with Joe, and we got unreleased music. So Sistine's got music coming.
Oh, okay. So Joe from Sistine.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So him and I was also talking to Charlie today. And, we're recording. He's got recording equipment and bought a new drum set. So we're like, hey, we got to record some. So yeah, bro, all over the place. On top of that, I also been working on how I do the looper stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to record an album where it's original music through the looper. Okay, like what I do live. Yeah, right? But I want to record it live.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the album itself is me,
live.
The looper, the song, and the original music, because I noticed that when I record, like a regular recording situation, right?
Yeah.
I'm like adding all this stuff, and it's like impossible for me to actually do the song live on the looper.
Yeah.
Because I got to record drums.
Yeah.
Right, and then record the bass. It doesn't. So I'm trying to think of ways where this sounds like how the song's supposed to go.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I've been working on that, and then what else? Did I say them all, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, that sounds freaking awesome right there, man. And for anybody that wants to find out more about you, what you do, what is your social media handles, where can they find you?
All right, www. Steven with the V, STEVEN.
EN.
G as in good, and B as in boy, I guess. .com. Steven GB. It stands for Steven Gonzalo Bejarano.
There it is.
But that would be a long website.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing. My Instagram is Steven GB Music.
Okay, cool.
TikTok. Steven GB Music. It's all on the website.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. My Venmo is Steven GB Music. Send
pretty
me
much
some
everything.
cash,
Yeah.
For the album,
Yeah, heck yeah. So if you guys want to check out more Be sure to check him out on his social media platforms, his website. Hit him up if you want him to play your next event. He would love to come out. And we will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.